How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to go over the update for playing Gemma 3 or how to transition it into Groundshaker. Also, you can level with this if you are playing the character later in the league rather than on league start. I've had a lot of questions in regards to updating this build, so I figured now would be a good time to do it. So first things first, the core of the build of what we are doing here is we are using Groundshaker for Ignite. We are using this again to basically use as our Ignite skill because of the total damage that you are getting on the skill itself when you actually ignite a target. With that, we are also using this Wrathful Vault support because this allows it to get a lot of attack speed and makes it to where you have a single hit that you are using, which is just helpful to have less total buttons to hit overall. This is basically fully converted all the way over to Ignite now. So we have a defense buffer here just for some defenses. We have Starstalker. If you have the energy, which I don't yet, then you put this on with cooldown reduction and extended recovery. Then we are running Scorch and Black Hole. So you'll see with Black Hole here, this actually gets all the way up to 35% additional damage over time taken. So that's very, very nice. And then we have we are using Flame Imbue here. The total base ignite that you are getting from Flame Imbue is pretty big just because we don't actually have that many points or that much base ignite damage, so all we can get is really nice. We are running this with the Reaping Agony and Extended Duration. And then we have our spirits here for Summon Thunder Spirit, Friend of Spirit Magi, and Superpower. And then same thing for Summon Frost Spirit, Friend of Magi, and Superpower. We are able to basically use this many supports because of the fact that we are playing with this support over here called Off the Beaten Track. So this actually gives you all of your support skills a 95% mana multiplier. So you could actually get an imbue buff on here as well, once you get enough energy to actually unlock the 5th slot here, because this will basically lower the mana cost of this by even more when you put the Reaping Agony on there. So the mana cost multiplier, as you see, the mana cost goes up, or the total mana cost goes down rather every time we add a support. So if I were to take this off, it actually costs me more mana than with it on. So we want to put on as many as we can possibly get with this. So that's kind of what you're aiming to do. The Thunder Spirit we're using just for quality of life because of the attack and cast speed. If you did want to just maximize damage, you'd probably run this instead with you can run this instead with a Charged Flames, something like that. But the quality of life of having all the extra attack speed definitely helps. So it's the direction I like to run things. Same thing goes for the activation mediums. You don't need them, but I would recommend getting them because they're like 1 to 2 FE each, and they just allow you to hit. Basically, the only button you're hitting is your right click in order to use Groundshaker, which for me, I swap it over to W in order to basically hit it. So for the damage itself, I'm only level 75. There are versions of this basically like once you basically craft a new weapon over the starter weapons that I'm going to recommend that are like 1 FE each, then you will be able to get yourself up to like 1.5, 1.6 billion, somewhere around there, which is more than enough to do T8. But let's go ahead and showcase kind of what we have for now right here. This is basically just using this. This is your damage here without any DPS pets. So we are sitting right here around like 27 to 30 mil, something like that with our ignites. And then if we actually swap to the DPS pets here, you'll actually see that the damage that we end up doing ends up going up quite significantly just because of all the extra aura, or the extra affliction effect rather. So if you do end up getting these, if you have DPS pets, you basically want to run all the DPS pets for affliction effect here. So you want to run all of them with affliction effect, and then the extra stuff here for again for affliction. So in regards to the other stuff about the gearing itself, the only expensive piece of gear really is going to be this Magnus Scar helmet. You want to ensure that you are getting one with this 7% mod. You know, you don't need to if you can't afford it. That's fine. This is kind of what you want, though. You want to make sure you're getting a 7% mod, preferably with higher strength. When I bought this, I only paid 45 FE for this with this 20 strength and 7%. But if you can't get the 20 strength, just make sure you get the 7% additional fire damage for every 10 strength, because the core of the build of how we're actually increasing all of our damage is going to be with strength stacking. So early on, though, these are some things you can pick up that are going to be very, very inexpensive. For your necklace, you are looking for at least 2 of these strength mods. You should be able to get these again, 1 to 5 FE with 2 of the strength mods. If you can get one with 3, that's going to be even better, or, you know, 4, that's, you know, obviously going to be even more worth even more, but those are going to be expensive. So these are kind of your entry level items to get you in, and this is kind of where we're trying to aim with things. We have Everburn Thunderfire. The rolls on this don't really matter outside of just get high strength. Everything else doesn't matter at all. And then we are getting our +1 ignite limit for numbed targets. This is actually a mistranslated tooltip. It is actually just +1 ignite limit for targets that you've hit with, basically, with lightning damage recently. So you are fine, basically just having a little bit of flat lightning damage on your gear. For your rings, you want these here. If you can get them with the tier 1 mod for base ignite damage, that's good. Those are like 100 something FE each, though. But the ones with this tier 2 base ignite are only 1 FE. So you start with the cheap ones just to get yourself in the door. Same thing for these still stagnation hammers. These are just really, really good DPS hammers that have some synergy with the demolisher charges, some nice skill area that's helpful. These are very inexpensive. Again, they're 1 to 2 FE, so just get the highest one with the highest amount of fizz you can get. That's still cheap within your budget. For the boots, you don't actually want these boots. You just want any boots that are going to actually give you movement speed and damage. But the boots are an affliction effect, rather, so I just have these on because I just leveled with these, and I wanted boots that had 58 energy so that I could equip my Groundshaker right off the bat. And then blinding bracers here, same thing goes. This is the one you want, the T1 mod of this version, but the T1 version is 1 FE. But if we actually change this to the T1 version here, you'll see they actually go up quite a bit. Wait, they're actually cheap. I guess I'm buying some. Never mind. I thought these were actually going to be expensive for the T1 mod, but they are not. So I guess this is what we're getting. So we'll see if we can find some of these with some actually proper energy right now while we're at it, before I tell you guys and you buy them all up. So yeah, I thought these were actually going to be expensive as well, but it turns out they're not. So these are going to be about 1 FE as well. So turns out you can get even better than what I had on. That's good to know. Makes it cheaper for you guys. Same thing, these Wrathful Vault supports here, about 10 FE. And then, again, the rest of the gear, as you can see, is going to be pretty cheap. Same thing goes for this Furious Man's Body. These are going to be 1 FE because they drop in Treasure Trove very, very frequently. So you don't have to worry about too much. This is not going to be, again, most of this is not going to be your end game gear outside of like the necklaces. But again, you're going to want to go from a T2 to a tier 1 version. The Magnus Scar is the only piece that won't be replaced. So don't break the bank on any of the other gear. Just get yourself something to get yourself in the door, basically. Because of the fact that we are using so many legendary items, it is hard to get your elemental resistance. So you want to make sure you actually get these on candles. And then for your slates, this is where it's important. You just need to make sure you have 1 slate that has this added lightning damage to attacks and spells. If you can get your added lightning damage on attacks somewhere else, go ahead and do that. But this is where you need to get it. So because of the fact they're using full legendaries, this is basically your only option to ensure you have it. So yeah, have that. And then on your other slates, you just basically want +1 to attacks or +1 to physical, whatever you can get. Yeah, so +1 attack or +1 physical. Make sure you get the one that doesn't prevent you from converting, as that is important. Yeah, let's go ahead and showcase a map. And then we can kind of just basically kind of go with it from there. But pretty much the gist of the build, oh yeah, the tree itself, you are going for all the points on this side of the tree here. So +1 max purgatory charges, additional damage while purgatory is active, and then just the additional fire damage here. For your slates, you want attack speed on this one. You will want this one to just be life. And then you want like affliction effect as the lower mod if you can get it on everything. And then for the first one is going to be strength with affliction effect if you can get it. Let's go ahead and showcase what we're doing here. Let's change to a frosty version of the character, and then let's go ahead and showcase a map here. I'm just showcasing the tier 5 because that's what we've been doing. So let's go ahead and show. But pretty much, again, in mapping, it's literally just hitting W or whatever you set as your skill for your Groundshaker, and everything is going to die. So this will continue into T8 as you progress your gear. So the build, very, very comfy, very good quality of life. You don't have to think about much. You don't have to hit much. So I'm really enjoying it over playing the Selena, where like it was a little bit more effort just because I had to, you know, hit a little bit more buttons than what I'm doing on this. And I'm very happy with this. So far, like, I feel like she's going to be able to get decently tanky. Because of the fact that you are using the extra effect on the Frost Spirit, it actually gives you like 10 to 15% life and energy shield recovery every second. So that's very, very nice. It's a very good quality of life. It makes it really hard for anything to kill you. So yeah, that's kind of where she's at. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer that. And other than that, see you in the next one.